This is North American Warhorse High School Lacrosse, presented by Holly Ridge Estates on MyTV WQMY.
Welcome to the campus of Keystone College. We're in La Plume, Wyoming County. Tonight, it's PIAA High School Boys Lacrosse as Pleasant Valley from District 11 takes on Scranton Prep from District 2. A pleasant good evening, everyone. I'm Bob Ide. A beautiful night for high school lacrosse here on a college campus. And joining me from NEPA Lacrosse, Mr. Ben Magnotta. And Ben, regular season coming to a close, playoffs right around the corner. But for the Bears, they're not going to make the District 11 AAA playoffs. For the Cavaliers, they're going to be the top seed in District 2 AA. They're the defending champs. So a big game tonight. And these two teams have played a few of the last couple years and have built quite a rivalry.
For sure, yeah. The second straight year that Scranton Prep's got that top seed. But talking about the matchup, last year it was close. Year before it was even closer. Teams fluctuate in the area. Scranton Prep has really had a solid edge on it. But can they keep doing that this season? And we'll see. Both teams have come off a loss. Scranton Prep just won recently to Del Val. Pleasant Valley's looking, they had 3 straight deficits. So can they do that tonight? We'll see who can get out first.
Well, you mentioned the Bears. They lost last night, in fact, to Northampton, 16-9. They led in that game by 3. If they want to pull off the upset tonight, they're going to need a big game from our North American Warhorse Spotlight player, Zane Cromer.
Yeah, Zane, you've heard that name a lot for them. He's creative in his shot. He's a 4-year starter. Really led the team to their success that they've tried to have and all that. So, you'll see him shoot a lot, and, the Bears are really hungry for this, so we'll see what they can do.
Yeah, he had 5 goals against Easton. They did lose that game. For the Cavaliers, they need to bounce back after a tough loss on Wednesday to Delaware Valley. And if that's going to happen, our other North American Warhorse Spotlight player, Brady Holmes, has to have a big night.
For sure. Brady knows that this season. He's really stepped up. Prep lost their goalie, a lot of other key guys, but Brady's been bringing that energy. We hope to see that tonight. He's fired up to be here. Can't have a better night for this.
Absolutely. He's 8 goals away, from tying the all-time record for goals scored in a career.
Sure,
so we'll see if that happens here tonight. Keys to the game. Talk to both coaches. For Ben, how about the Bears first in Pleasant Valley? What's the key to the game for them?
Yeah, so the Bears, they need to make Prep work on their defense. We've seen Delaware Valley, do that in the past game, and they took control in the second half. They also need to execute on offense. Can Pleasant Valley get it done? You spoke how they did lead in that game. Can they finish it through 4 quarters?
How about for Scranton Prep, Ben?
Scranton Prep, they need to gain possession off the face-off, and really, that is really important. We've seen Delaware Valley, lose their face-off guy last year, but have that expertise and be able to do that. That's really turning point in the game. They also need to score on the ride. It's very important. Can they get the ball up and, make that stop?
Absolutely. So, big game here tonight, college campus. Beautiful evening for high school boys lacrosse. It's Pleasant Valley and Scranton Prep next.
Check 1 2. Check 1.
You are pressed.
Check. I can't do a check if Steve's talking over me. Check 1 2. Check 1 2.
Check 1 2 1 2.
There are the Pleasant Valley Bear from District 11 making the trip up from Broadheadsville, and here is their starting lineup under the direction of John Smith. In goal will be Luke Smith. We'll talk about him later on. Nathan Tyner, Blake Regina, and Nicholas Marsh are the defenders. And midfielders will be Jake Smith, Cooper Cromer, and Christopher Ward. And then the attackers, Zane Cromer, Austin Kaiser, and Tyler Vanderheyden getting the start here tonight. For the Cavaliers under Keith Toole in his third season, here are the starters for them. In goal will be James Stallman, a junior, his first year. On defense, senior Marco Rinaldi, senior Will Ramey, and sophomore Henry Barrett. The midfielders, the focal will be Andrew Dempsey, he's a junior. Grady Toolin and Donato Rinaldi will be on the wings. The attackers, Brady Holmes, Mackie Lynett, and Chris Ramey getting the start tonight. He is a senior. So what do we expect early on, Ben, as we take a look at tonight's rest from District 2, Richard Cohen and Brian Boyd. So beautiful night, 12-minute quarters in high school lacrosse in the state. And from what you've seen, Ben, from around the state, because I know you cover it a lot, what's lacrosse become in the last few years here statewide?
Yeah, you've only seen it, go up, and we've had more and more different teams, win the district title and then make a really good try in the first round of states. We've even seen, teams beforehand get that win in the first round of states, but, it's turning the tables. Scranton Prep is the defending district champion in District 2. Pleasant Valley is in 3A. They're tested with those tough teams down there. Who could get it done tonight? We'll see how this first face-off goes.
We will see the face-off. We Cooper Cromer, the sophomore, number 9, against Andrew Dempsey, a 225-pound junior. 54% last year and up to 65%. He just started doing face-offs last year when Prep didn't have a face-off player, and he's really developed into one of the best in District 2. So here we go, getting set. We're underway with the face-off here at Keystone College. Richard Cohen lays the ball down. No whistle, and the fight for the ball. No possession yet. You have to stay in the box until you do get possession. Possession, that's number 11, Jake Smith, who brings it up. So they'll set up their offense. Pleasant Valley in the blue with the white trim. That is Cromer, and the face-off player will come back. So a lot of substitution in lacrosse, Ben, right?
Sure.
A lot of 6-and-6 sometimes. And that's what most of lacrosse is all about.
Yeah, we've heard that term sixes come to play really recently in lacrosse, and there's the new development with the Olympic League and all that, starting. But here we go. We'll see what the Bears can do as they try their first shot.
Chris Ward, one of these solid players. He started for 3 years. He's a junior, number 35. Watch out for him. He tries to set a screen for Cromer. Cromer guarded by Grady Toolin, so 9 versus 9 early on. Pleasant Valley wants to get the ball inside. They'll try to work it around. It's at X. That's Cromer, our spotlight player. Try to feed the middle. Knocked away. Henry Barrett up front for Prep, trying to get it. Ball still loose, and the ground ball picked up by Ward, and he'll be taken by Donato Rinaldi.
He'll try again here.
Fires. First stop, James Stallman, and they'll set up the clear for Scranton Prep. So Cromer is an outside shooter. He likes that step down, but he couldn't get it past James Stallman. So Grady Toolin now, a senior, brings it up for Prep. They'll have to get it inside the 30-yard line. That's the box. Brady McPartlin with a pass off the mark of Chris Ramey. It goes out of bounds, and it will be Pleasant Valley ball. One thing Prep has been plagued with over the last few games are turnovers. 23 against Del Valle the other night. They really need to clean things up here.
Yeah, they really do, and we'll see. One of their keys to the game is scoring on the ride. So can the Cavaliers get that done and prevent any early lead as Pleasant Valley did?
There we go. There's the ride. 42% out of the year. It's been a mainstay for the Cavaliers since Keith Toolin took over. Picked up
Mackie Lynett.
Yep, by Mackie Lynett, the junior.
He'll get some defensive pressure right there.
Yep, Blake Regina on him, number 8 with the long pole. So 4 long poles in the game. Per side.
As we talked about earlier, the Bears need to, make Prep work for that, and we see this defensive pressure right now. Can they get that first goal, and who will lead this game?
Chris Ramey getting that start on the left side. Gives it off to Brady Holmes. We talked about him. He's going against the senior Nick Marsh. Let's see if Holmes can work it around. Over back shot for Brady Holmes. Now he's 7 away from tying the all-time career mark in school history.
He is, in fact, and yeah, that number is 191. He is 7 away from that, and he had that nice hat trick right there to get the Cavaliers on the board early.
And we've seen that move before from Brady Holmes.
Yeah.
So he takes Marsh around the X side, and Holmes with the first goal of the day, his 68th on the year. And it's a good start for the Cavaliers against a freshman goalie. Luke Smith didn't start at that spot all year, but he's getting to start the last few games. So this is Tate Cullen in. Tate Cullen also doing a nice job this year, 68%, and he gets that. Donato Rinaldi with the pole coming down, takes a shot. Good stop by Smith. Smith trying to get it up quickly. They do to Cromer, and this is the ride that Scranton Prep wants to do. Let's see if Cromer can get out, and he gets pushed out of bounds. Let's see what Rich Cohen calls over there, and it will be Cavalier ball. And that's a mainstay what we've seen from the Cavaliers, Ben.
For sure, and, they need to get that ball up.
Back to line it. No one picks up him. The lefty turns in front to Colin McMullen. McMullen right in front of the goalie Smith. Puts it in for a big goal. His 10th goal of the year. First-year starter.
That's what we needed to see. They needed to get that goal right away. They're up to a 2-0 lead. The Bears are definitely feeling that pressure from the Cavaliers. Can they do it and start it off right here at the face-off?
Yeah, Pleasant Valley, I think, got caught ball watching. Al Mackey and Colin just snuck right in front around a banana cut on the backside, and it's an early 2-0 lead for the Bears. We'll have to see how Pleasant Valley responds, though. Losing last night, making a long trip up here to Keystone. Back-to-back games, not easy for high school kids, and they only have like 22 players on the team, Ben.
Definitely. You can see, on your screen the difference of the players on the sideline, and, the sun is shining right now. We'll see how it is later in the game.
Yeah, it's been cloudy all day, and the sun just recently came out, and we're looking right into it, so bear with us a little bit.
The players do have a nice little breeze down there. You can't see that, but it is refreshing down there for them.
Grady Toolin against Jake Smith. Looks inside, and another goal. Was that Brady Holmes?
Ryan Davis, number 1.
No, it might have been Brady McPartland. Or was it Mackey? Couldn't see the ball because we're looking into the sun.
Right in the sun. Cavaliers are up 3-0. This is just like, Pleasant Valley did last night. How can the
Let's see. Oh, it's Mackey Lynett shooting low. And Mackey with his 45th goal. Oh, excuse me, his 33rd goal on the season, Ben. Came in with 44, first-year starter a year ago, and he's really become an all-star in the league.
He really has, and Mackey stepped up, one of those seniors with Brady Holmes last year, the juniors last year, seniors now.
So good win there in front. Good stop off the shot by Cromer for Stallman, his second save of the game. Knocked away, Henry Barrett.
Tries to flip it back.
Yep, tries to flip it out, but looks like Ward now will bring it in, number 35. And they'll set things up in the 6s in the box, and they'll bring it out front.
Yeah, they've kind of set their area now. They're going to see what they could try to work against Scranton Prep's defense. We've known Ward to be a fast guy getting it up the field, but now he's already down there. What can he do against the Cavalier defense?
They're working around. This is Cromer. He likes to try and dodge. He's cut off by Marco Rinaldi, an all-star defender in the Wyoming Valley Conference last year.
Yeah, we saw last season Rinaldi won our Defensive Player of the Year award at NEPA Lacrosse, and he's continued to show that this season in his IQ on the defense.
Ward quickly doubled into the hand and stopped. James Stallman with a couple stops right in front. 2 great stops from the junior goaltender who's only started this year, Ben.
Yeah, definitely. We saw a hit last year, Scranton Prep graduating goalie, and, Stallman's stepped right in there and really taken a lead and charge.
Brady Toolin, bull rushes into the middle. They get it over to Chris Ramey in the box now. They'll set things up as Ryan Davis steps in. This is Brady McPartland, a sophomore. Now Prep will set it up in the 6s. Let's see if they get it back to X. Chris Ramey trying to bull dodge. And we'll have a loose ball push against Scranton Preps. So Bears ball. Overthrown. This is Will Ramey, the senior. He brings it up. No one to stop him. He goes to the middle, looking to get to attack. Dane Smith almost knocked it down, and he'll fight Mackie Lynett for the ball, but Lynett pulls it in. Lynett gets it back out to Ryan Davis, and they'll set things up.
They will set things up.
This is Brady McPartlin. McMarlin goes inside, flips it over to Brady Holmes. Back to McPartlin. One-on-one to the outside with a pull. Nice cut on the inside for Chris Ramey, and Ramey's shot goes off the mark.
Mackie Lynett's over there ready to inbound and try again for the Cavaliers. 6:05 left in our first period.
3-0 Scranton Prep. Goes out of bounds, I believe. We're getting some spots.
Right in the sun spot, yeah.
So it will be Pleasant Valley ball behind the net.
It's Jake Smith over there. He's going to run it in.
Smith knocked from Lynett. Lynett, one-on-one in front with the goalkeeper. Can't make it.
Flag is
The other
thrown.
Smith makes a stop.
Mackie
The
Lynett's gonna
goaltender,
try
he
to
made
fight
that
for it.
stop out in front with Luke. But there's a flag down against Pleasant Valley.
Lynett
so free play.
passes it.
Chris Ramey in the Brady Holmes. Holmes around. Good defense from the Bears. 2 pulls in there, knocks it down, and this will be stopped right there. Good job by Regina and Nate Tyner, the junior, on Brady Holmes, but now our first penalty of the game. So our first penalty of the game will go against Nate Tyner, and it looks like it might probably be a slash for 1 minute. We'll check on that. So what that is man up. So it'll be 6-on-5 now. You explain it, Ben.
Yeah, 6-on-5, Prep will have the advantage there. And, it's non-releasable. It is releasable.
Mm-hmm.
So in a sense that if Prep scores, which they will try to do here, he will be released and it'll be back to even.
Pleasant Valley will be in a box and one diamond position with the short log pole in the middle. Goes inside, knocked away. Lynett couldn't make it. Great stop by Luke Smith, the freshman. Smith around now. He'll be ridden. He throws it down to his brother. Jake now going to bring it up. Grady Toolin on the chase. Still in the minute penalty for Pleasant Valley. So now Pleasant Valley will need to hold the ball.
Yeah.
If they can hold the ball. Tyler Vandenhaden has it. Going to be double teamed. He knocks it forward. Right into the hands of Grady Toolin. Will Ramey now brings it up. Not sure on the time on the clock, but it's got to be short time now for Prep on the man up. McPartlin to Holmes to Lynett. Scores! Scranton Prep. So with 4:24 left in the first, it's all Cavaliers here at Keystone College. They lead the Pleasant Valley Bears 4-0.
Your locally owned and operated UPS store, Clark Summit in Dunmore, would like to wish the Scranton Prep Boys Lacrosse team good luck tonight under lights and a continued success throughout the entire season.
4-0 Scranton Prep. There you see Keith Tulin and the coaching staff. Ryan Holmes in there as well. 4-0, and what we've seen so far is what we expect to see from the Cavaliers team. We didn't see it against Delaware Valley the other night, but passing the ball, looking clean, getting the ground balls, that's what we expect from this Cavaliers team this year.
For sure, and, they had the face-off wins. They got that, and the previous game with Delaware Valley, Scranton Prep was down. It was 1-4 with the Warriors leading. And, Prep came back, it was 5-5, and then, Delaware Valley's defensive pressure just kind of shut them down. Kind of seeing, can Pleasant Valley, come back just like Prep did in that previous game and make an attempt here? We'll see from the face-off.
So Andrew Dempsey now, he'll rotate with Tate Cullen tonight at the face-off. It will be Cooper Cromer, a senior. Dempsey wins the face-off, can't get the ground ball, still fighting for it. Braden McPartland, to Mackie Line it, to Brady Holmes. Tic-tac-toe, goal, Scranton Prep. So 3 passes off the face-off. That's what we talked about in the keys to the game, Ben. That's how you score in lacrosse quickly.
For sure, and that's another one off the board for Holmes. He is 6 away from that 191 career goals record mark to tie that number at Scranton Prep.
Yep, that was a Wylam and Giorgetti goal. There you see top shelf. Luke Smith, the freshman, gets over there. Gets a little help from Nick Marsh, the football player. Likes to play a little physical. So Holmes with 2 goals right now, 5-0 to score. This is Tate Cullen in, 68% on the year at the faceoff. He wins it, can't pick up the ground ball. Good job by Cromer to contain it. Cromer goes in. Cromer, shot, off the mark to the left. It's the closest person to the ball out of bounds who gets it, Ben, and it will be the other Cromer, Zane Cromer, his brother.
Yeah, we talked about Zane before the game. He's very creative in his shot. He's going to set it up here, and the Bears really need to get on the board at this point. It's a 5-0 deficit, and they have the opportunity here.
That they do. Christopher Ward, 35. We talked about him. And they'll work the ball around. See if they get it back to Ward. See if Ward wants to go one-on-one with Donato Rinaldi, all-star long pole off of the Wyoming Valley Conference last year. He was the LSM of the season, of the year?
Correct, yeah. We've seen that right there, and they're keeping a close eye with him, with Marco moving in, right against Zane. Zane's being challenged here. He likes his shot, and hasn't been able to get one in. Off the mark again.
Cromer switches to his left hand, tries to bounce it by Stallman. Stallman saw that the other way. The help from Grady Tulin was coming on the backside, but good job by Cromer to take Rinaldi around the crease. So an offensive player cannot go in the circle around the goal. A defensive player can.
Correct, that is. Here the Bears will try to do it again.
Yep, we have number 12 in there, Gavin Dorsheimer. He's a freshman, number 12. He goes through. He'll take Trayvon Dickey through, the defender for Prep. Back to the outside.
You see they're trying to work around Scranton Prep right here. Really getting on them.
Number 4, Dane Ayers, was the goalie to begin the year. He's now playing attack. Ward, shot, bounce, stopped by Stallman. And Stallman is seeing the ball well tonight.
He really is, and the sun is actually facing his way, but he's been able to keep it a clean 0 goals on him tonight.
2:30 left in the first quarter. 5 goals so far by the Cavaliers of Scranton Prep, trying to pick up their 15th win of the season and head to the playoffs on a winning note.
Loses the ball right there.
They attack him. Here comes Tulin. Tulin on the transition. Tulin up to line it. Good defense.
Frederick Merklin.
Yeah, Frederick Merklin, the junior. Good defense there to hold the Cavaliers back. And now here comes the clear for Pleasant Valley. Cromer crossed the line in front. One-on-one. There's a good tic-tac-toe play. Austin Kaiser, the senior, number 33, right in front of Stallman. And that goes good. And Pleasant Valley's on. Nope, they're going to call he was in the crease. They're waving the goal off.
I could see that. He was really close up front, but, officials are down on the field and they see that a flag is thrown.
Ryan Davis, great catch and they'll bring it back out. Flag down on the Bears, so a free play now for Scranton Prep. The goal was waved off. It remains 5-0. 90 seconds left in the first quarter. Brady Holmes back on front, guarded by Nate Tyner. The pull. Brady McPartlin, one-on-one.
Get in front.
Colin McMullen tried to squeeze the pass in. He did. Holmes from outside. Bounces it in. Cavalier goal. Third of the night for Brady Holmes.
That it is, and that's 5 remaining for Holmes on that career goals record to tie it. And we've seen that move from Holmes a lot this season. He really has that eye for it. As you see on your screen right here, whips it right in, past those defenders, sneaks it in the goal on that left bottom side.
Yeah, Lou Smith. I mean, he's seeing a lot of great players this year. Of course, they lost to Easton. Easton's undefeated.
Correct.
In District 11. Lost to Freedom 17-3. The Bears do have wins over Bethlehem Catholic, Danville, and Saucon Valley this year.
Yeah, and we saw, Easton is number 7 in our PA state rankings for the boys. They're up there with those heavy hitters, District 1, District 12. Really some great competition down in that District 11 area. Pleasant Valley is part of the EPC.
Scranton Prep played a District 11 team, Allentown Central Catholic. They're leading District 11 AA. They lost to them midway through the season. Kind of a wake-up call for this Cavalier team. They held tough. They tied the game, but ACC went on a roll. So Andrew Dempsey wins the face-off. And I believe timeout call. Scranton Prep, 54 seconds left. We'll stay right here. So Cavalier timeout to preserve the possession.
At Swift Fence, we specialize in high-quality fencing solutions for both residential and commercial properties. From chain link to ornamental steel, our fences provide security, privacy, and curb appeal. Locally owned and serving the Northeast since 1975. Call 570-347-9438 for your free estimate today.
There you see Ryan Davis, senior, has been playing youth lacrosse since 5th and 6th grade, somewhere around there. A lot of these prep players have come up through the Scranton Youth Lacrosse Association through the years, and it's really grown since then. When I've been a part of it for almost 15 years, it's really grown and it's becoming bigger. Especially in NEPA, and that's what you follow, right, Ben?
For sure, yeah. We've seen that bigger and bigger throughout the years. I've heard people, we got to order more pennies for the guys. That's common across. We've seen teams like Abington Heights really step up in the district. They're head and head with Crestwood right now below Scranton Prep in the district standings for Class 2A. Cavaliers, as we said earlier, are the defending district champions, and Pleasant Valley, Class 3A team from District 11.
So after the 2-minute timeout from Scranton Prep, it will be Cavalier ball on the Bears side, and then they all have to do is bring it over the 50. So last year, again, as we mentioned in pregame, an early season matchup between Pleasant Valley and Scranton Prep. In that game, the Cavaliers were missing their starting goalie, Aiden Jordan, who was out. And in fact, freshman, Packy James stepped in and led them to the win. So here comes the Bears. The Bears have one more game. They'll host Abington Heights next week. And that should close out the regular season for them, as only 4 teams, or teams with 500 record or better, make the playoffs, Ben, right, in District 11 AAA?
Correct, yeah. Even with that, that's a good point on the 500. We've seen 2 teams that got in last year to make it a 16 playoff. Right now it's set at 5. Emmaus is right below them at 6, about maybe 47% their power rating. But, Pleasant Valley comes to play in that District 11 Class 3A.
So Will Ramey steps over. You're allowed to do that. And he'll go back, and Grady Toolin will step over, and it will be 6-on-6 with 40 seconds left. So let's see what the coaching staff built up. Over to Ramey. Brady Holmes, one-on-one in the back. Holmes trying to get a screen. Holmes to McPartlin. McPartlin, behind the back shot, no good. Good stop by Smith. 20 seconds left for the Bears. There's that tough ride. Fight for the ground ball. Ryan Davis has it quickly. 10 seconds left on the clock. Over to Chris Ramey. Can they get a shot up? Grady Tulin. Tulin to line it. Makes a stop. Line it, bounces it through, and it goes off the mark, and that will do it. 1 quarter in the book. So an entertaining first quarter, Ben. All Scranton Prep on the board. They lead 6-0 over Pleasant Valley. When we come back, quarter number 2, and we'll have a special guest in the booth from Scranton Prep. Yeah, I will. Yeah.
I don't want to.
If you call.
Looking for more than just a vacation at Pack-A-Bag Trips, we specialize in travel experiences tailored to your every desire. The best packages and exclusive access to the world's most sought-after destinations. This is travel reimagined. Whether you're dreaming of a secluded island escape or adventurous European tour, our experts advisors handle every detail so you can simply relax and indulge. Visit packabagtrips.com. Pack-A-Bag Trips, where luxury begins the moment you dream it.
Bye-bye, Ben McNaughton in the booth here at Keystone College. We'll have a new goalie for Scranton Prep as sophomore Packy James comes in. 24 saves on the year, 61% average. So him and James Stallman had a battle at the preseason, and it was won by Stallman, but Packy James does get a lot of work on the varsity side. So I believe we have a penalty on the Bears, so it'll be Scranton Prep ball to begin the second quarter. No face-off. And we'll see if it's a 30-second or a minute penalty. They're trying to get another guy in there as Pleasant Valley in the blue and white. Scranton Prep in the home white with the purple trim. And white helmets. So on the man up. See if Prep can connect again. Back to Tulin. Colin McMullen makes a move over to Chris Ramey. Chris Ramey shot off the mark as Luke Smith continues to be in the goal, the freshman for Pleasant Valley. Jack Ruley now a sophomore into the game for Scranton Prep.
Yeah, the Bears here, they're going to try to make Prep work for it. That's one of their keys to the game that we talked about. And, they've done their best before. We'll see what the second quarter brings.
Jack Ruley with a nice move underneath. Can't connect on that shot.
Flag is down on that far side.
Another flag. So it's a two-man up now for Scranton Prep. So it's a slash on number 7, another minute penalty. So Pleasant Valley will be 2 men down for about 30 seconds. Let's see if the Cavaliers can cash in on this. Brady Holmes in the middle. Tulin out in front. Knocked away. Good defense by the Bears. And it will be Prep ball.
Prep ball.
Mackey lined it, brings it in. The referee messed up. He was pointing one way or the other. Inside. Knocked away. They got it into Holmes. Somehow he caught it. Ruley to McMullen. Collin off the mark. Great stop by the freshman goalie again. And we have a whistle.
Second.
In the crease. Looks like McMullen was in the crease. So still 2 men down for the Bears. Opportunity now for Prep to double team.
You'll see Jake Smith coming across.
Yeah,
laying it down.
Smith doing a real nice job to bring it up, despite being 2 men down. Now here's the double team on Ward. Ward drops the ball. Picked up by Will Ramey. Ramey up top to Grady Tulin. Over to Jack Ruley. Ruley to Brady Holmes. Line it wide open. Pass off the mark from Brady Holmes. It goes out of bounds. And it should be a Bears ball right now. So very fast-paced action in about a minute and a half. And now we can introduce our guests in the booth. Sorry about that. So the Director of Athletics at Scranton Prep, Gray Simpson, in the booth. Gray, how are you?
Doing great. Thanks for having me.
Sorry about that. A lot of action there early on in this second quarter.
Quick start to the second quarter here.
Absolutely. So we have a little stoppage. So just tell us about Scranton Prep and athletics. How many sports do you offer, and what's going on with the Cavaliers athletics?
Yeah, thanks. We offer 22 varsity sports. We're excited about the direction of our athletic programs. We've made a concerted effort over the last couple years to play games like this one against schools out of the area, getting out of Northeast Pennsylvania a little bit, whether it's traveling ourselves or hosting teams up in this area. We want to ultimately do what we can to get our student athletes ready to play at the highest level and compete when they get out on the state stage in the state playoffs. And so our kids love the opportunity. Our coaches are on board with the idea, and it's been a real benefit to our student athletes having this experience.
And you've had success, especially you won a state championship the last couple years in a couple sports.
Yeah, certainly. Girls tennis 2 years ago and boys golf this past year. We've made some deep runs in playoffs in boys and girls basketball and football. Won the first district championship for boys lacrosse last year. It just gives, I think, the kids the confidence when they see some tough competition during the regular season, that when you get to those important games come playoff time, that even if you go down early or if you hit tough times or struggling, that they have the confidence that they can keep battling and ultimately finish on top.
And it's proven successful?
Yeah,
Question
definitely,
mark? Yeah.
definitely. No, I think it's been a great experience. Our football team played 2 states outside of Pennsylvania for the first time ever, traveled down to Maryland. So that's, that having those experience for our student athletes, I think is something they'll always remember, not to mention the benefit it pays off on the field or on the court.
Absolutely. Brady Holmes puts his 4th goal in, so he's inching closer to that, tying that record.
He is inching closer. He's 4 away now from that career goals to tie that 191 special number.
Yep, 7-0 Scranton Prep.
10:15 to go in the second quarter. Here we are, center of the field for the faceoff.
And great, boys lacrosse, a lot of success in the last few years under Keith Tulin. Won their first ever Wyoming Valley Conference Championship, won their first ever District 2 AA Championship. That's a team on the rise.
Definitely. Keith and the coaching staff have done a fantastic job. First, just, building excitement about the program, both at Prep, within our Prep community, but also in Northeast Pennsylvania. And, it's always about culture first and building that culture. And he's definitely got that going. The coaching staff does a great job. You can see the number of kids we have on the sideline compared to the opponent. There's a lot of excitement about it. And, now it's about taking the next step and improving those technical skills day to day, so that that when you get south of the tunnel come playoff time, you're ready to compete with the big boys down in Southeast PA. So that'll be hopefully the next step for the program this year.
And you've seen lacrosse, because you were before this. You were at Ware, and they were a big lacrosse program.
Yeah,
correct?
So I spent 6 years at the Lawrenceville School. It's a nationally ranked boys lacrosse program. I spent 10 years at the Hill School. The Mid-Atlantic Prep League is pretty big time lacrosse. It's the reality is, while a somewhat new sport in Northeast Pennsylvania and still building, 14 of the top nationally ranked 15 high school programs in the country come from within a 2 or 3 hour radius of Northeast Pennsylvania, whether you're talking New York, Connecticut, New Jersey, Maryland, or Southeast Pennsylvania and Philly. So all around us are really, really strong high school lacrosse programs, and we certainly have the athletes and the dedication up here in Northeast PA to build similar types of programs. And, hopefully you're starting to see that with some of our stronger programs up here. Certainly we hope to be leading the way at Scranton Prep, but Delaware Valley and Abington, and there's a lot of schools coming along here, Crestwood, that you see getting better and better every year, and that's exciting for lacrosse in this area because, we want to push each other, make each other better. So again, when we get out into the state playoffs, we're ready to compete.
Chris Ward, drop down shot, bounced just off the mark of Packy James. Under 8 to play in this first half. 7-0 Scranton Prep here at Keystone College. We're in Wyoming County. Director of Athletics of Scranton Prep, Gray Simpson, joining us. And Gray, final question, where do you see the future of the Cavaliers athletic program going, and where do you want to take it to? You kind of mentioned a little bit, but what's your next step?
Yeah, no, I think we always at Scranton Prep prioritize, I purposely always say student-athlete. We prioritize the student first and the work they do in the classroom. But, we believe that, you can do both at a very high level. You can be great in the classroom, and for our young men out here today, you can be everything it means to buckle the chin strap and be a great lacrosse player, but then you can step into the building, take the helmet off, and be a gentleman and a scholar. And so we want to continue to make sure that that's kind of the base and what we're rooted in Scranton Prep, the development of the student athlete. And then, like I said earlier, it's just for our teams to think about the bigger picture. What else is out there? And, it's nice to build a schedule where you win a lot of games and win league titles, but we want to build a schedule where we're getting our kids ready to make a run in the state playoffs.
So sophomore Jack Ruley with a nice pump fake, his 25th goal on the year for the 6'4 sophomore. Here it is again, Ben.
There he is, assist from
Colin
McMullen right there. That is the 8th goal for the Cavaliers. 7:22 still to go till the half, and the Cavaliers have been dominating so far.
Yeah, another thing, Gray, is taking some of your teams and playing them at college facilities, at the University of Scranton, Keystone, Marywood, Wilkes-Barre, wherever. But,
Yes.
I mean, that's you want to get the kids that opportunity, right?
Sure, yeah. It's one thing that we're still, evaluating, and, we don't have we're still thinking about facilities at Scranton Prep. Obviously, we got a great field across the street and a great basketball court in the Keller Court in the Save Nation Center. But, provide an opportunity for kids to come up here and play a night game on a college campus, or we have an opportunity, a couple games. We played baseball and softball earlier at the University of Scranton. So that's a cool experience for our community. Not only the kids playing, but the fans in the stands coming out on a beautiful night like tonight and supporting their friends.
And don't forget about football. You traveled right to Maryland and Buffalo, or vice versa. You have a nice relationship.
Yeah, that's right. Last year we went to Maryland, like I said earlier. First time our football team's ever been outside the state of Pennsylvania. We went down and played Loyola Blakefield, a Jesuit school down in Maryland, and then we hosted Canisius High School, a Jesuit school out of Buffalo. This year we'll flip that. We will host Loyola Blakefield, and then we'll go up to Buffalo to play Canisius.
That's amazing.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, it's a great experience. Last year the experience down to Loyola was just awesome. The kids just loved it, and it helped when you end up on top against a really good football team. That's always great, too.
Okay, we'll let you go on that, Mark. And we have a penalty. Scranton Prep, Braden McPartland with a push, loose ball push. And for the first time tonight, Pleasant Valley will be up on the man up.
All right.
Thank you, Greg.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Have a good night.
So the Cavaliers on the man down. Errant pass. This will be over and back, and it will be
Signal the other way right there.
Will be Cavalier ball, even though they're down a man. Should be 5-on-6. Let's see if Pleasant Valley will double team the ball with 6 players against 5. That's usually what the coaches want to yell out, as McPartland still remains in the box. 8-0 your score, and there's 7 to play here in the first half. Brady Holmes will just try to kill this penalty off. Here comes the double team. Over to Grady Tulin. Makes a move. Tulin towards the box. Off to Mackey Linett.
Cavaliers are going to look around the Bears defense. We've talked about that and said it numerous times. The Bears have been making prep work, especially just as we've seen it right now on defense.
Scranton Prep still throwing those errant passes, which really haunted them against Delaware Valley, and that's something they need to clean up before the playoffs start, because that can hurt you against very good teams. Possession is the key, right, in lacrosse.
That's 100% right, and the pace of the game too. It might not be as intense as we've seen it before, but come those heavy hitters, and especially as district playoffs get underway in 2 weeks, will the Cavaliers be able to two-peat and get that back-to-back district title? We'll see here.
Cromer from the top on Trayvon Dickey, can't get by the shorty. He'll work it around to the backside, almost thrown away. This is Austin Kaiser, who had a goal taken away in that second quarter. Ward from the outside. Rinaldi with good defense.
Take a shot off the mark right there. James hustles over there, but goes out of bounds. Tyler Vanderheld.
Tyler Vanderheyden has it. Back out to Cromer. Left-handed shot way off the mark. Knocked away and right into the stick of goaltender Packy James. Out to senior Marco Rinaldi. He'll push the pace. Gets it up to Braden McPartland, but another errant pass. Knocked away. Let's see if there's an opportunity now for Pleasant Valley. Man coming on. Shot. Blocked away again by James. Kaiser with the shot of the left hand goes off the mark. So Vanderheyden back out to Ward. They'll set it up to Cromer again. Cromer one-on-one with the shorty. Nice move by Cromer. Bounce shot. Knocked away by James. So the goaltenders tonight playing well for Scranton Prep. Stallman started the first quarter. Here, Packy James, a sophomore, in the second.
They are indeed we've seen about 20 minutes of play pass so far, and, Scranton Prep has not allowed one goal.
Ward, he likes to shoot from out there, guarded by Rinaldi.
He does, in fact. He's quick with his feet, as you can see, moving around the defenders there. And, Bears have taken 3 straight shots here. They're going to try to make it a 4th, and they want that one to count.
James saw that. It bounced right in front of him. Knocked away, picked up, and there. Finally a goal for Scranton Prep. Number 12, Dorsheimer, the freshman, puts it in. They're on the board with 4:07 remaining in the half. 8-1 the score now here at Keystone College.
Wylam and Giorgetti Attorneys at Law is leading medicine malpractice and general liability defense firm. Our experienced trial lawyers represent physicians, hospitals, and other healthcare providers. Contact us at wylamgiorgetti.com.
So the Bears get on the board with a loose ball, finding it in front, and here's what they face this year in a very tough Eastern Pennsylvania Conference, District 11 AAA, one of the best in the state, Ben. And there you see, there's some very good teams down there, and they just haven't had the success the last few years, have the Bears.
No, they have not, but, saw right here, they came through, being down 8-0, 3 straight shots that were off the mark, got it in right there. We got 4:06 left before half. Can the Bears get some more on the board, or, will Scranton Prep stay strong as we saw beforehand?
You see 3 straight losses. Last night they lost 16-9 and to Northampton, and back-to-back games. Kind of unusual at high school lacrosse, but thankfully Pleasant Valley made the trip up from Broadheadsville. There you see Coach John Smith, his second season. Bob Vanderheyden led the team for a couple years at Pleasant Valley. So they have a youth program down there. They've built that up. They have a middle school program now. They don't have the numbers they want yet, but that seems to be a trend. A lot of schools, especially in that part of Lehigh Valley, adding middle school teams, Ben.
For sure, and, they are part of the Eastern Penn Conference, also known as the EPC. Talking with Coach Smith before the game, those area schools around them, Stroudsburg, East Stroudsburg, they do not have programs. Pleasant Valley does. They're taking advantage of that for the kids to get them an opportunity on the field in a match like this. As Bob has said before, they've been on the road just last night playing a game. Took the trip up north today, and here they are at Keystone College. Got 4:06 left before half. Cavaliers are up 8-1 against the Bears. Center field right now for the faceoff.
Back to the face-off we go. Tate Cullen's turn now for Scranton Prep. He will go against Cooper Cromer. Cromer, a sophomore. McPartlin and Rinaldi on the line. McPartlin bounces in, picks up the ground ball, takes it to the hole. Shot by Jack Ruley.
And it's in.
Floated in. Ruley, the sophomore, puts his second in, and Prep ups their lead 9-1. 2 in a row for the sophomore.
Yeah, that was about a 10-second goal there for the Cavaliers. They came out hot. We even talked about that before game. Winning the faceoff is so important in lacrosse at whatever level. Right here. Takes it right in. Jack Ruley right there. Cavaliers back up 8. Here to the center field again for the faceoff. Just 10 seconds before the previous one. Can the Cavaliers make it a double-digit game?
So Greg Schur, now a senior, getting an opportunity. 68% out of the year. Number 16 at the faceoff against Cromer. Cromer wins it and picks it up. Schur still on. They'll try to get the ball out. Good job by Cromer. Loses a stick. You can't play without a stick. Then there's a trip. Whistle blown. We have a penalty. Rich Cohen going to call the penalty. And it will go against, I believe, Pleasant Valley. Cromer.
That's Greg Schur down in the box. Yeah, he's taking a knee.
Okay, so it's going to go against the Cavaliers for a slash. Greg Schur with the slash. So a man-up opportunity now for the Pleasant Valley Bears. Second chance tonight for them.
That, in fact, and we have 35 right here. Chris Ward, he's going to try to, capitalize on this opportunity the Bears have and work their way in. Shot right there.
Good shot. Good shot by Kaiser. Better save from Packy James as Kaiser came around the crease. So now Prep will have to carry the ball up over to Thomas Wisniewski, and Cavaliers. We have a whistle on the sidelines as two players started to go at it. Greg Schur was in the box, so I'm not sure what happened there. We heard a whistle. Both coaches now in the box. And let's see, Rich Cohen is trying to figure out, is there a flag or not? John Smith, the coach for Pleasant Valley, is not happy about something. So we'll have a little bit of a break here as the referees going to figure out what's going on. And hopefully we get word up here. So NEPA Lacrosse is the spot you want to see. What are your social platforms?
Yeah, so the graphic you see right here is at PA Lax News. This is our newly formed state media panel that, since last year with the creation of NEPA Lacrosse, we've had, several other regional outlets, including Pittsburgh Lacrosse Media, Lehigh Valley Lacrosse, and even there's a central PA Lacrosse that's still managed by us, but it's still all in one goal to grow the game in Pennsylvania. Right here we see the Cavaliers did move up one spot into the 7th in the boys Class 2A rankings for PAA. These are released weekly on the platform at PA Lax News on Instagram, and also several other media outlets have been sharing them out as well, online media and all that. And, Bob talked about Allentown Central Catholic earlier. They are right there at number 5. We've seen a lot.
Marble Newtown. Prep has faced Marble Newtown through the past few years in the state playoffs. That has changed this year. Mars defending state champs. They are ranked 3rd. Now Prep's 7th position will change this week. They lost to Delaware Valley, even if they do win tonight.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of, again, Prep faced arguably the best team in the area, on their race to try to win the Wyoming Valley Conference title. And that was a head-to-head matchup in May last year. Delaware Valley was hosting Scranton Prep, and Scranton Prep pulled victorious and captured the Wyoming Valley Conference title there. Again, Mars and Marple Newtown have been at it past 3 years. They have been the teams in the state championship the past 3 years. So coming back to your screen now, we have 2 players kneeling on the sideline. Looks like it's a double man up for Pleasant Valley. 3:26 left in the second quarter.
So it looks like we have 2 men in the box now for Scranton Prep. Both coaches going to talk to Dr. Richard Cohen, the referee. Brian Boyd, the other referee. So I don't know if there was a word said down there or what was happening on the sidelines. It was hard to tell. These 2 teams are not bitter rivals, just like Abington and Prep maybe, but somewhere along the line, I think John Smith is not happy with the call, and that's what it seems to be. So
Are you looking for top quality construction services? Look no further than Spano Construction, serving the Scranton and beyond since 1990. We specialize in all your commercial and residential construction needs. Whether it's building your dream home or setting up the perfect commercial space, trust us to deliver excellence every time. At Spano Construction, we bring your vision to life with unmatched expertise and dedication. Contact us together today, and let's build something extraordinary together. Spano Construction, building dreams, creating realities. Bringing it back to the field right now, looks like we are finally set to get play resumed here after a long pause.
Unnecessary roughness is the call on number 23, Chris Ramey. Not sure why. And Greg Scher was already in the box, so this is a 6-on-4 opportunity for Pleasant Valley now. Scranton Prep had that opportunity in this second quarter. Yeah. Now a chance for Bears to cut into this 8-goal lead. Ward around. He'll drop shot it. Bounce in front of James. Goes off the mark.
He's going to stay with the Bears right there. Bears are going to really want to capitalize on this opportunity. We got Dr. Richard Cohen going right over to the box again.
Well, another penalty. You can't go less than 4 in the box. So you can't go 6-on-3. So there's 3 guys in the box now for Scranton Prep, which I didn't think you could go. I don't think you could go 6-on-3. Can you, Ben?
Well, I've seen it last year.
Yeah?
A game,
okay.
Wyoming area at Wyoming Seminary. There was a little scuffle there, but we're here to see the game of lacrosse on the field. We got the Bears on the end down there, ready to inbound it again and get this second quarter finished up. 3:09 to go.
Again, we'll have communications. We're trying to get that solved on the sidelines, and we'll figure it out at halftime and let you know. But it's 6-on-3 now. Haven't seen this. James knocked away. Rinaldi trying to fight for it. Ward, pump fake. Shot off the mark.
Might have bounced off the left pole there. It's going to go out, and
Cromer off the mark as well. So now 6-on-4.
Was in fact another Cavalier comes in, and Bears are going to try again. 2:35 to go in this second quarter.
Good passing. Inside. Ward tries to bounce it. That's his mainstay. He likes those shots from the outside. So Prep now trying to bring in another pole. The penalty should be ending soon.
Tyler Vanderhayden right down there. He's going to try it again for the Bears. Cavaliers bring another one back in.
So now the Marco Rinaldi penalty is the only one on the board, and 6-on-5 now for the Bears. So nice job by the Cavaliers defense to hold off on a 6-on-3, then a 6-on-4. Now can they do the same? Now we are even. Trayvon Dickey runs in, and Scranton Prep holds on a bunch of penalties from them. Inside the ward, looking to shoot again. Drop down, bounces, hit the post.
Cavaliers are going to win this one. They're going to scoop it up and, clearing it right there. Marco Rinaldi fresh onto the field. He's going to try to score, passes it.
Nope, Grady Toolin with the shot, and I think it went off of the goaltender right into Ward's hands for Pleasant Valley as we have 90 seconds left in this first half. Things have heated up over the past 5 minutes or so. Knocked away by Ramey. And here comes the fast break. Braden McPartland, 3-on-3. Jack Ruley fires it. And gets it by the goaltender. Ruley with his third straight goal. And Prep extends their lead 10-1 with 1:17 left in the second. So that's 3 straight from the sophomore who didn't get the start tonight.
We've seen Ruley step up right here. Cavaliers have got it done. Even being down 3 on that opportunity for the Bears. Lead by 9 right now, largest of the night. 1:17 to go. Second quarter still.
So the Cavaliers somehow come through on defense, Ben. 6-3, 6-4, 6-5, and then finally even, and they score. So good defense from Scranton Prep. 1:17 left in the quarter.
And, that doesn't attest to really any, team, to do that again, down 3 players, any team, that says a lot about that defense.
And we have a flag down against Pleasant Valley. And if Prep wants to hold it, they could get to begin the second half with the ball.
Pick it back up in front of Grady Toolin to pass it.
Braden McPartland over to Mackie Linen. Linen, one fake. Left side shot by Smith, and it's another goal for the Cavaliers of Scranton Prep. This time, Mackie Linen, his third of the game.
Third of the night, in fact, and that's another goal for the Cavaliers. They are on a, I believe, 3-0 run against the Bears. 48 seconds left. And they're going to sort out this penalty. Got a Bear kneeling in the box.
It was a quick flag off the face-off, thrown by Brian Boyd. So probably a slash. I don't believe it was offsides. I didn't see that signal.
It was a slash indeed. They just confirmed that.
So 1 minute slash, and we will have a face-off man down. So Prep can win this one, hold possession. They'll get the ball to begin the third quarter. So the penalty is going to go against senior Nick Marsh, 6'1", 250-pound defender.
Also plays football for the Bears. Here they are at the center of the field for the face-off.
Oh, there's 2 penalties. 2 penalties for Pleasant Valley. There are 2 guys in the box. Another flag. I don't know.
Scuffle still going on.
Jake Smith was in the long pole. He still has it. He's fighting Grady Toolin. There is a flag down again. 30 seconds left. So 6-on-4 for Prep.
McPartland going to pass it to Line, and he's going to try to work at it again.
Let's see if they get over to Brady Holmes, over to Holmes in the X. So they still have time if they want to score, or they can hold it. Looks like Holmes will hold it, and they'll begin the third quarter with a penalty on Pleasant Valley, and that could be a 6-on-3 again. We haven't seen that all year long. Have you?
I have
a 6-on-3? And we might see it twice in one game.
Yeah, so Holmes is going to hold it right there. Clock hits 0. That is halftime here at Keystone College.
It is halftime, and it's a half dominated by the District 2 AA champs, Scranton Prep. They're trying to get back into the win column after a loss to Delaware Valley the other night. They lead 11-1 at the half. Jamie Sefcik from Keystone College will be in at halftime. Then we'll get some stats, and then we'll be back with highlights and stats and the start of the third quarter here on MyTV WQMY. We are back inside the booth here at Keystone College. 11-1 the score. Scranton Prep over in Pleasant Valley. Joining me right now, the Assistant Director of Athletics and the head baseball coach here at Keystone College, Jamie Sefcik. And Jamie, I've known you a long time, and you know the off season and what was going on here at the college was really stressful on you and the families here. But things have come back a little bit. So give people an update on what's going to happen with Keystone College, and then we'll talk about athletics after that.
It hasn't it hasn't been easy on anybody. I don't know if there's another school in the country that went through the potential of what could have happened with Keystone over the last 10 months, but. I've been here for 25 years, and this is a resilient place. It's always been like that. And, we were close at times, but I think we have the right people in place. We have the right administrative people. And, at this point moving forward, we are moving forward. And listen, you can still read, Google everything that happened in the past about Keystone College, and some people might be scared about that. I'm the ultimate optimist. I see it as this is a place that I want to fight for. If we have people that are fighting for, because listen, you have two decisions you can make, right? You can take the easy way out, and I think Keystone had that opportunity to take the easy way out, close the doors, move on, and they chose to fight for this institution. And I think the great faculty and coaches and people that are on this campus needs to rally behind that, and we are going to be moving forward, and we're in the process now of rebuilding.
Congratulations. Happy for you. Happy to hear that. Let's talk about athletics specifically. You're out recruiting now, right? You can recruit.
We are.
And every sport's recruiting here. So if you're an athlete, you're watching this, Keystone College is a place you might want to play at. So talking about recruiting and throughout all the sports, and what's that
Yeah,
like?
we're in the process of rebuilding our department as well. We've had a lot of turnover in coaches across the board, but I think we've hired 4 or 5 brand new coaches in the past month or so. So we're rebuilding the infrastructure that we need to push this college forward through the lens of athletics. And, we're hitting the pavement. I know we're doing it with baseball, and I think the other sports are doing it well as well. And, right now it's we're a little late in the game, I think, given the circumstances that we were under. But, again, Keystone is that place where, we'll grab as many kids as we can. And, year one of the rebuilding process starts, in this week, soon.
This guy just came from the baseball field, doubleheader today with Keystone on their beautiful facility here on campus. How'd you do today?
We won. We won both games. So we move on to the Final Four, which is going to be held next Friday. Penn State, Harrisburg, St. Mary's, and Maryland, and Cairn are going to play a double elimination tournament starting Friday.
What are your chances this year, you think?
Everybody always asks me that, right? We've won 19 straight conference championships, and I think, this is, I don't know if anybody really realizes how stressful that can be, right? We carry that burden every single year, and, there's players on our team right now that weren't born when, the first conference championship was won. We've had a couple close calls, and honestly, there's been some times where I wish that streak would end so we can just kind of, be normal at times. But, this is a great group of kids. I love the group that we have. I love being around them every day. It makes it enjoyable going in the field. Whatever happens, it happens. If we win, great. If we lose, this is the right team to lose with. It won't sting as bad. But we're just going to play one game at a time and see what happens.
Absolutely. Good luck with that. So if you're a student watching right now, you want to do some athletics or see something about athletics here, how can people find out information about Keystone College athletics?
Go to gokcgiants.com, look at our website, our athletics website. All of the coaches' information is on there. Reach out to the athletic director, Casey Manning, or myself if you can't get a hold of anybody. But we are not hard to find. We are rebuilding our rosters. There's plenty of spots that are open for everybody, and it's going to be exciting.
Well, lots of luck to you, Casey, and the entire staff here at Keystone College. Thanks for having this lacrosse team here, too, because I think it really showcases, to athletes here that you're coming back and you have a great facility here.
Beautiful campus.
Absolutely. Okay, when we come back, Ben will be joining me again. We'll have some highlights and stats. Score remains Scranton Prep 11, Pleasant Valley 1 here on MyTV, WQMY. Welcome back to the campus of Keystone College. A beautiful night for high school boys lacrosse here on the campus. This beautiful facility here. We just all heard from Jamie Sepchik, Assistant Director of Athletics here, about the comeback now for the Giants. They have a football coach. Hopefully they have lacrosse next year. And hopefully they get back to where they were several years ago. Let's take a look at the standings now. In District 2, so Scranton Prep has wrapped up the top seed. Abington Heights Crestwood still fighting it out for 2-3. Sem and Lake Lehman are 4th and 5th. So the top 8 teams make the District 2 AA playoffs. No matter your record, you can be under 500 and still make the playoffs. The playoffs start May 16th, May 19th, and the finals May 22nd. District 2 AA gets 2 seeds in the state tournament. So right now, Scranton Prep, the defending champs, will have a tough road with Crestwood and Abington. And in AAA, we said Pleasant Valley will not make the playoffs, but Delaware Valley will. It's a sub-regional. Easton, Delaware Valley, Parkland, Nazareth, and Emmaus all right now in the playoffs. Freedom has a couple games left, and they could jump. They could also make the playoffs in District 11 AA. That's District 11 3A, excuse me. So Ben is joining us right now. He's coming back, and let's talk about that first half. What did you see, Ben?
Yeah, so to end the first half there, we had a little scuffle on the field. You know, both Pleasant Valley and Scranton Prep person were coming in. There's a collision there. Some Bears went after them, and, you know, we had all those penalties assessed there, and about to start the third quarter right now.
Did you get any stats? Okay, he's going to bring it up on his phone. Okay. So dominated by Scranton Prep in that first half. 11 goals. They passed really nicely. They have some turnovers, but the defense did a nice job holding them to 1 goal. They had a 6-on-3, a 6-on-4, 6-on-5, and finally a 6-on-6. So, Ben, what do you see from the stats?
Yeah, so, you know, right out of the bat, the save percentage by the goalies really stands out to me. You know, 11 saves by the Cavaliers to just 1 on Pleasant Valley. That was, you know, not off the mark. So that's obviously a big one right there.
And as you can tell, Ben is catching his breath because he was on the other side of the field. They need to run all the way across, Ben. See, this TV thing's not easy.
No, it is not. Little obstacle course here, but, you know, we're making it work. We got a beautiful day. Ground balls, Pleasant Valley has 12. For the Cavaliers, they are at 18. So almost even there. Face-offs 1, Prep with 8. Bears with 12, so
okay.
They have a little edge there.
Let's take a look at some of the first half highlights. Brady Holmes has 4 goals, I believe, in that first half. He does. He's inching closer. There's Chris Ramey with a goal. Cavaliers took an early 8-0 lead. Jack Ruley has 3 straight goals. And then Mackie Lynett got 1. Pleasant Valley got back with 1 right here in front by number 12, Gavin Dorsheimer, the freshman. And then a little Jack Ruley again, low shot. Mackie Lynett goes in. That's the final goal of the first half off the left-hand side of the goaltender, and that's where we stand now, 11-1. Well, officials brought out the captains again, which you don't usually see. Talk to them about something. So what did you hear from the sidelines about some of the talking going on or what we saw during that first half?
Yeah, so obviously at halftime, you know, the officials are very supportive of the game of lacrosse, and they just want it to work out. You know, we want to finish this second half despite the score and really have a good night here. So, you know, we wanted to bring the captains back in, you know, just go over it again. This is a high school game. You know, we're here to play, promote lacrosse in the area, not, you know, get into any scuffle or anything. So, you know, we're going to start the second half right now. Get set. Teams are clearing the field, and we have 2 more quarters of lacrosse to play, with Scranton Prep leading 11-1 over Pleasant Valley.
We want to thank the Scranton Prep Booster Club for supporting tonight's game and gathering all the sponsors to showcase high school lacrosse here in our area before the playoffs start. It's the Cavaliers from District 2 and the Bears from Pleasant Valley from District 11. We thank them for making the trip up here to Keystone as we play underneath the lights in May. There is Keith Toolin, his 3rd season as the head coach at Scranton Prep. He's 46-10 overall. And before that, Scranton Prep had a couple of down years, which was unusual for them.
They did, yeah.
But then the change was made. The coaching staff was at it. And, boy, immediate success. They went to the championship game in the first year. and then made the state playoffs. Last year they won it, and this year they're hoping to get even further.
Hoping to get both, yeah, about to get underway here. What you can't see on your side, TV cameras facing the other way, but there's a significant amount of youth presence. And, as Bob talked before, Scranton Youth Lacrosse Club, with many other clubs just in general, that, interest in lacrosse is really growing, and it's great to see here on a Friday night.
Okay, so I haven't seen this in a few years, if not ever. Our second 6-on-3 of the game. And we have a new goaltender. That is Christopher Ward, 35, who was the starting midfielder, who's starting in goal for Pleasant Valley. Now it's 6-on-5. So the first penalty was released. Possession was owned from Scranton Prep, and we have it over a back. So a missed opportunity there for the Cavaliers on a 6-on-3, 6-on-4, that is 6-on-5.
Yeah, for sure. Here comes that pressure right there. 2-on-1. They're going to break it away. Scoop it up.
Will Ramey switches to the left hand. The pole will bring it over. He'll get it up to Brady Holmes. Holmes drops the ball.
Back up with the little trip. He fights through it.
One thing I know from Pleasant Valley, they will not back down in this game. Mackie Linett tries a shot off the mark. Back to Grady Tulin. Now we have 6-on-6. So we're back to even. Grady Tulin from the outside bounces it back past Ward, and the Cavaliers now extend their lead to 11. Tulin's first goal of the game.
That is his first goal, and the first goal of the half right here. 10:55. That's only minute 5 into the second half, and Cavaliers are already extending the lead.
Yeah, Tulin's known for that shot from the outside. Here you see it again. A little awkward on the shot, but he bounced it by Ward. His 30th goal on the year for the senior Grady Tulin. So now we're even on both sides. And let's see now. Let's see. Ward's still the goalie. Not sure. Coach John Smith pulling his son out. Luke Smith, the freshman. Thought we might see number 4. We saw him yesterday, Dayton Ayers, in the game down at Northampton. But now it's Christopher Ward, his best midi, he puts in at goal.
We do see number 2 on the sideline, so he's still with the team, maybe regrouping, just blowing off some steam there before he gets back into the game.
Well, he did play attack in the beginning of the season, so let's see if they bring him at attack. So a tough spot for the Pleasant Valley coach to make that change, and he gives up an early goal. So now another change is the LSM number 11, as the shot's taken from the outside. The LSM number 11, Jake Smith, is now playing a short midi. So he's a senior, playing a short midi. And he's on the offensive side. So they don't have Ward out there.
Yeah, they got Christopher Tittle. He's a freshman midfielder, number 16, you see, kind of working his way in with the Bears. They're going to stay on their side, see what they could do here, try to get a goal of their own in the second half.
I also didn't see number 33, the starting attack, Austin Kaiser. He is not out there. Zane Cromer, the senior, is number 22, I believe. He is right there. So a little bit of shuffle here for John Smith. Of course, his team played yesterday, so they may have tough legs as the pass goes off the mark from Tyler Vanderhayden. Henry Barrett will retrieve it. So a lot of changes now, as you can tell, Ben, from Pleasant Valley down 12-1 in this game.
That's for sure. We got Austin Kaiser coming back in. He is back in there. We also got 17, Frederick Merklin, junior defender, that have stepped back in the game.
Mackie Linett comes over and gets that clear. So now Prep will set up in their sixes. Prep averaging about 15.3 goals per game. So right around that tonight. The defense giving up 6.69.
Mackie Linett looking in, connects to Brady Tulin. Tulin cannot get that mark. He gives it back.
Tulin tried to go behind the back. He looked like he was ready to go behind the back, Ben.
Good read on him, though.
So coming around is Linett. He's hit, but he's going to say that he's in the crease, so the goal is waved off. Mackie Linett in the crease. It will be Pleasant Valley ball.
Dr. Richard Cohen there enforcing that rule, and Bears will try to capitalize on this opportunity as they pass it back and look to go up the field.
Nate Tyner being hounded by Brady Holmes. This is a mainstay of Scranton Prep. They like to do a tough ride. Ward passes it up. They get it up quickly. Cromer gets it in the box. Trayvon Dickey defense on him. He pushes him away, and Cromer will set it up.
Set it back up. Gives it to number 4.
Yep, back over to Tyler Vanderhayden. Vanderhayden hounded by Henry Barrett. So senior on sophomore. Vanderhayden will bring it back out. So let's see what offense Pleasant Valley can run here. This is the long stick midi. Here comes the Cromer tried to come around the crease like he usually does, but James Stallman, the goalie, saw it, and it gets it back out to Donato Rinaldi. Rinaldi has wheels.
Wheels indeed. He's down
But
there.
he loses the ball.
Loses the ball.
Great defense, though, from Pleasant Valley.
Jake Smith right there. Going to try it again for the Bears. Obviously, the ongoing debate with the shot clock in lacrosse. Bears are going to try it again here.
Where do you fall on that? I like to see a shot clock. I'm a proponent for some faster offense and, maybe more competitive games, no stalling. Where do you fall on that?
Yeah, so I spoke with the District 1 chairman this past fall. He is he delegates with the PAAA steering committee on lacrosse, and, he proposed to the board that he wanted to try a testing phase in District 1 itself to just see with those teams that are more experienced there how it would go. That has not since been passed, but I think, Bob, back to your question, it can benefit in certain scenarios here that we see, to really get that gameplay going and make it faster for both teams.
Well, Prep did play with a shot clock this year up in New York, and I witnessed that. I liked it, because the defense then knows that, they have a minute or 90 seconds to play good defense. You're not stuck on a 5-minute defensive opportunity, which is, helps both teams. And I think it's just, brings it to a faster pace. I like it. I like it for college as Brady Holmes knocks one in again. Number 5 on the night for Brady Holmes.
5th of the night. That brings it down to 3 goals to tie that career goals record of 191 at Scranton Prep. Back to Bob's point, we've seen the running clock is in effect, and we've seen it already wind down. It is at about 6:30 right now as the Cavaliers lead by 12 here against the Bears.
So some substitutions now going to be brought in for the Cavaliers. We'll try to keep up on them. On the line is Thomas Sheehan. He's a freshman. He's on the one line. Ricky Dewey on the other line. The face-off, that looks like Tate Cullen. It is Kate who has the ball. Pleasant Valley wins the face-off. They bring it up to Cromer again. Cromer has it. He's going to go right down the midfield. Right shot. Blocked away by a defender.
Jake Smith scoots back up, and they score right there. That is number 6 for the Bears.
Tyler Vanderhayden. Looks like Prep wasn't able to get in their defensive set, so it's a Wylam and Giorgetti goal for Pleasant Valley, their second of the night. And it was Tyler Vanderhayden, number 6, a senior.
Again, they did have some younger guys in there, and, games like this, back to Gray Simpson's point, Director of Athletics at Scranton Prep, it's really about building that team aspect. And, my observation from last year to this year, much more guys on the sideline, a lot of support from Scranton Prep and its donors themselves to get those necessary gear, a proper inspected helmet, a jersey, and all that, and really bring in a lot of these players to really build that team aspect and get more guys on the field and play lacrosse.
Greg Schur now at the circle for Prep.
Clock had stopped there. It was at 5:44.
Yep.
Counting down now.
Ricky Dewey fighting with Jake Smith. Dewey pushes it ahead. And it's going to roll out of bounds. And The call is Scranton Prep ball.
Dr. Richard Cohen right there, bringing the game to a pause. Looks like he's gonna reset it.
Will Kane in the game. They're gonna do it over.
Do it over.
Never saw that before either. So Will Kane in the game, number 12. He's on one of the wing lines. He's a sophomore. So they're going to reset. Didn't reset the clock, just kind of reset the face-off. Or he didn't see who got knocked out of bounds. That's what I'm going to say. Ricky Dewey in there, along with number 17, Frederick Merklin, the junior, fighting it for
right
it.
there, picked it up. Cavaliers are going to try to bring it back up the field. We're going to get a pause right here. And it looks like a timeout on Scranton Prep called by head coach Keith Toolin.
It is a timeout. 13-2 the score, 5:12 remaining in this quarter. We'll take a quick break and have the rest of the third quarter after this.
Your locally owned and operated, the UPS store, Clark, Summit, and Dunmore would like to wish the Scranton Prep Boys Lacrosse team good luck tonight under the lights and continued success throughout the entire season.
We are under the lights on a beautiful evening in Factorville. 68 degrees outside. On the field, it's been all Scranton Prep. They lead Pleasant Valley 13-2. So after the timeout by Scranton Prep, it will be Cavaliers ball. Will Kane will pick it up, number 12. Kane on the season has 5 goals and 3 assists on the varsity level. Plays a lot of JV as well. No GV game tonight just because of the numbers of Pleasant Valley.
Again, a lot of those guys are getting in their time right here. And as we saw, started the second half, a lot of different numbers in the game for Scranton Prep.
They are. We'll try to name them as we go. Tate Finnerty, number 15, has it. Brady Mullins, a 4-year player, a senior. He's at X, number 7. Nice cut by Kane. This should be over and back. And it is. It is Pleasant Valley ball now. Jake Smith got a fast break. The ball's thrown away. Then Mulligan with the ball, number 25. Mulligan picks it up the lefty. He'll bring it across the field. Try to use his speed and try to get the pass up. And they're going to call a ward. Brian Boyd calls a ward on Mulligan with 4:35 remaining in the third. Pleasant Valley ball down 13-2. Cromer brings it in box. He'll get a touch and he'll run it all the way back to X. He's knocked away by Jackson Silphy, number 18 in the game. Good defense from Silphy. And he can't get the ball in his stick. And it'll go out of bounds. So now both teams can now set it up in sixes, Ben.
That is, in fact, and we got Cooper Cromer right down there. The face-off for the game, he is down there bringing it in for the Bears. Number 11, Jake Smith, swinging it around, missed connection. Going to be a loose ball.
And this should be over and back as well. It will be prep ball over and back. So the ball, if you have possession on one side, it goes on the other side. It's called over and back. It goes to the other team.
That is, in fact, yep. Misconnection there again.
I think it was actually, was it knocked away? No, it will be Pleasant Valley ball, which is an errant pass from Brady Mullins to Jack Ruley underneath the lights. Some of the kids not used to playing underneath the lights.
Again, both teams, especially Prep, bringing in some younger guys to get them some experience on a night where they don't have the JV game that follows varsity.
Pleasant Valley does a nice job on the clear. Finn Mulligan picks up the sophomore Cromer, gives it back out. Now, Prep will go into their man-to-man defense. Jake Smith trying to get it inside the Kramer. Great job by James Stallman. He's seeing the ball well tonight. He's done a nice job on that. They get it up.
Especially with Cromer, we talked about him being very creative in his passes, and, he knows how to shoot it well as well.
Here's first-year player Reese Tanner with the ball, number 35. And as
Robert
I mentioned,
Hogan right there.
Yep, as I said, Tanner's a first-year player, didn't get it in the box, mostly plays defense. They didn't communicate that well. We are still in the third quarter, under 3 to play. There is Kaiser into the game, number 33. Took a little break, the senior.
Score remains 13-2 in favor of the Cavaliers. We got about 2:30 remaining on the clock in the third quarter.
Number 42, Thomas Krzyzewski in there for Scranton Prep on defense. Cromer around Mulligan. Knocked away by Stallman. Ellison, Ricky Dewey up quickly to Tate Finnerty. Finnerty in the 2 guys.
Loses the ball right there. Yep. Still a nice hustle by Dewey up the field for the Cavaliers as Bears will take over. That's number 33 right there. Austin Kaiser, 220-pound, 6-foot senior, running the ball up for the Bears.
So Prep back into the defense, up 13-2. Minute 47 remaining in this third quarter. We're in a running clock situation. Once you hit that 12, the clock keeps running. Take it away. Will Kane brings it up. See if he remembers to get a touch. He does, but he's hounded. Now Prep will bring in reinforcements and set up their 6s with mostly the JV team into the game. Now for the Cavaliers in white.
Working
back to Brady Mullins.
Yep.
Roman Lowe can't pull that one in. Number 17, the bouncing ball goes right to Pleasant Valley.
Flag is thrown.
Yep, it's going to go against, I believe, Roman Lowe with a slash. Up quickly are Scranton Prep, and shot score by number 4, Dayton Ayers. The senior puts it past James Stallman, and it's a 13-3 game.
Second of the quarter for the Bears. They've been working hard, especially with new people in. We've seen a change of goalie as well for the Bears, and going to get a slash called, as we talked about earlier, in the box for the Scranton Prep.
You can score fast in lacrosse, and Scranton Prep better watch. I know they're up 13-3, but a couple quick scores now from Pleasant Valley, and suddenly they're back into this game, and you're like, uh-oh, what's going on? So penalty against Prep. 1 minute penalty.
We are at the face-off. Going to be
Sam Cordero with the face-off. Smith retrieves it, and he passes it. And we'll have to see what the call is, if it's a face-off or a free clear for Pleasant Valley on the other side. 13-3 score. Cavaliers over Bears.
At Swift Fence, we specialize in high-quality fencing solutions for both residential and commercial properties. From chain link to ornamental steel, our fences provide security, privacy, and curb appeal. Locally owned and serving the Northeast since 1975. Call 570-347-9438 for your free estimate today.
We are back on the campus of Keystone College under a moonlit sky. Lights are on, and we are all set for fourth quarter action. 13-3 the score. Pleasant Valley scored the last 2 goals for the Bears. And we will start with a face-off, man-down face-off for Pleasant Valley. So the Bears want to get possession and try to eat into this 10-goal lead. As I said, it will be a slash against Roman Lowe, number 17. Greg Schur in, loses the face-off. It's picked up by Cromer. He finally retrieves it. He's in the box, and Pleasant Valley can set it up if they want. Shot on goal. Packy James with the stop. He's back in goal in this fourth quarter. Great job by him. The shot taken by Zane Cromer, who we talked about.
James is down behind the goal, limping. Looks like there might have been some physical push by the Bears, but we'll see what the call is here.
I'm not sure if he missed that because he retrieved it pretty good. So now James Stallman will come back into the game as the training staff for Prep goes out and check on the sophomore James. So this is where it helps having a 2-goalie system here tonight. And I don't know if he got pushed or just got hit on the arm. But he'll go off.
In credit to James, he really had a great quarter right there, even starting off strong that fourth quarter with that save.
Okay, Robert Hogan has it, freshman, at the 45. He'll have to get it into the box.
We're at midfield with Dr. Richard Cohen right here, alongside number 33, Austin Kaiser.
And I believe Prep is still down a man, Ben.
Do believe I see it. There's
because there's a minute penalty on Roman Lowe, and that will still be in effect. And here comes the double team from Pleasant Valley. Hogan, you trying to use his wheels to get it in the box. He does. He'll run it to X and see if when we go even, as Pleasant Valley was unable to capitalize on that man-up opportunity. Hogan will just hold it, and we'll set up as Thomas Line at number 31 crosses midfield, and it's 6-on-6 now, under 11 to play in the game.
Yeah, Prep's going to work it around here. They really want to get a goal and make that one count. Start this fourth quarter off, and that's what they do. Number 12.
Will Kane, the sophomore, 6th varsity goal on the year, and that's another Wylam and Giorgetti goal for Scranton Prep. They up their lead 14-3. That's one thing that the second unit and third unit have shown for Prep. They can put some goals up. He shoots it, and again, Ward in there, their starting midfielder, didn't even see that one.
Yeah, I think the Cavaliers needed that boost right there. Starting off this quarter, still got 10 minutes left to go, and working through some adversity in that third quarter, letting down 2, but here they go, center of the field for the faceoff.
This is Sam Cordero, a sophomore, who will take this faceoff.
Plays hockey, Sam.
Yep. And he took it against number 3 that time for Pleasant Valley. Charlie Harris, a junior. Prep wins that face-off.
Thomas Sheehan running off the field, getting some hop behind from the Bears. Cohen's going to call it the other way there.
Then they call the Ward. Looked like a hook to me, but Cohen's going to call a Ward.
And it looks like
then call a slash.
Slash.
Shot on goal by Austin Kaiser. And they're going to call Brian James with the slash. And obviously, I think they talked to them at halftime about something with their sticks because they're calling it close now. Every time you can hit somebody with your stick, but it depends on where you hit them.
That's correct. And, you see that a lot, and especially in a game like this, both teams want to finish the game in its entirety and, make it the best they can.
So, man-up opportunity for the Bears, down 14-3 in this one. As the clock continues to roll, the officials have not stopped it. I'm a little surprised at that. I know we're at a 12-goal count, so after 12, anytime after 12, the clock will continue to run.
Yeah, Tyler Vanderheyden, number 6 for the Bears, brought it in, and, goal right there from number 9. Cromer, yep.
Cromer puts it by Packy James, who came back into the game. So he looks like he's okay, and it's another Weilemer and Gigetti goal, this time for the Bears from Pleasant Valley. So they'll send out number 3 again for the faceoff. Will the Bears, Charlie Harris, the junior, and he will, as we see the shot from Cromer again, bounce right by Packy James. He will go.
Greg Schur, number 16.
Yes, Schur had a penalty on one of these. Now, you got to watch your hands, too, on the line. A lot of different things the officials are looking at. Sure bats it through. Picked up by a Bear. Ricky Dewey on him. Will Kane trying to get him as well. He loses the ball. And we have a timeout.
Looks like it was called by Pleasant Valley.
Hunter Russell had the ball. Okay, we'll take a timeout. 14-4 the score, 7:26 remaining in this one. It's been all Cavaliers here tonight at Keystone College. Yeah, the fans did come out tonight, didn't they, Ben?
They did indeed, and we're going to talk about Pack-A-Bag Trips first. Looking for more than just a vacation? At Pack-A-Bag Trips, we specialize in travel experiences tailored to your every desire. The best packages and exclusive access to the world's most sought-after destinations. This is travel reimagined. Whether you're dreaming of a secluded island escape or an adventurous European tour, our expert advisors handle every detail so you could simply relax and indulge. Visit packatrips.com. Pack-A-Bag Trips, where luxury begins the moment you dream it.
Well, thank all of our sponsors for tonight, making tonight's telecast possible. We really appreciate you showcasing boys lacrosse here in northeastern Pennsylvania. So off the timeout from Pleasant Valley, 6-on-6 now for both teams.
Yep, they are even. It's in the hands of number 22 right there, Zane Cromer. He's their 4-year varsity starter attackman. He's going to, get his eyes straight and try to, pass it along and make a goal here for the Bears.
Good cut inside, picked up by Ricky Dewey, gives it back to the goalie. So now a clearing opportunity.
Very nice there by Prep if they could get this
James
pass.
Alex Scanlon, very fast player, gets hit and then knocked upon again. As number 30 jumps on Scanlon. And that's Brady Cerrone, a senior. So maybe some frustration now setting in for the Bears. Coming off the tough season, last week's loss. That's no possession there, so not a push. And then the second fall.
Nothing called there. Again, Prep playing a lot of younger guys. Scanlon, flag right here.
Yeah, we have another flag. This will go against Pleasant Valley for a hold, I believe. As both teams now, some of the players getting frustrated in a hot night. 5:50 and counting in this one. 14-4 the score.
Talking about the atmosphere that beyond just being on the field, we've got a lot of people in attendance for this night, a lot of, cheerful conversations going on. All thank you to our sponsors, who've made this possible. Scranton Prep Boys Lacrosse Booster Club, Keystone College for, opening the facility up for a Friday night lacrosse game. It's been a while since this has happened, and, there's so many people to thank.
And don't forget, you want information on NEPA Lacrosse. Ben has every place you should be. You're on Instagram, Facebook, and X, right?
For sure, yeah. You could just go to nepalacrosse.com. That'll take us to our Linktree page that has everything. And then also PA Lax News on Instagram has all of the state rankings.
Freshman Thomas Lynett with a drop-down shot past Ward. Bounces in. So it's another Weileman-Giorgetti goal. For the Cavaliers, they up their lead to 15-4.
They do, in fact, 11-point lead right now for the Cavaliers. We got about 4:46 remaining on the clock as it continues to wind down.
And yes, there are several siblings on the team from Prep. There are Will McPartland's out this year, but his brother played last year. We expect him back. Raiden McPartland. We have the James brothers, and we have the Lynett brothers all playing tonight.
That, in fact, yeah, even last year we had, many more of that. It might even have been the most, the team that had most number of siblings on one team in the league.
Sam Cordero, nice job on the face-off. Gives over to Thomas Sheehan. Sheehan will push it up and see if they get a touch. They do. Roman Lowe. Good passing from the Cavaliers' third team. And 4 minutes and counting left. 11-goal lead for the Cavaliers. They lose it quickly. Brian James shoots it into Ward. Nice save by Ward. And he's just going to take it off. Why not? He's a midfielder. He's going to see if he can take it all the way down. And he does. And let's see if the Cavaliers can stop him or not. Shot off the mark. And it's going to be Pleasant Valley ball.
Combination there of Grayson Simpson making that stop right in front of the net and, Packy James staying strong. Was off the mark, but Bears will try again as the goalie settles back into his nest.
Don't usually see a lot of what's going on here tonight. We've had 2 6-on-3s. We have a goaltender take it all the way down, Ben.
Yeah, talking about some results out of the area. I'm getting scores in. Jack Augustine of Crestwood, 100th goal tonight for the senior. He's heading to Widener University to play lacrosse. Crestwood beats North Pocono 19-11 in girls lacrosse.
Yeah, girls lacrosse just down the road. Abington Heights beat Crestwood this week in a big game. The Comets doing a nice job in girls lacrosse. Also, Scranton Prep girls lacrosse right there in the mix.
That's for sure. We talked about earlier with Gray Simpson, even us, Scranton Prep defending District 2 Class 2A champion. Crestwood the year before, they just won tonight 12-2 over Wyoming area in boys lacrosse. So, a lot of new teams are stepping up. Holy Redeemer's having a great season as well here in the Wyoming Valley Conference.
So we have a flag down.
2 flags thrown, actually.
We actually have a lot of guys now playing out of position and a lot of pushing and shoving going on. Even for the Bears, they're picking some of the long poles are shorties. Some of the shorties are playing goalie. So obviously it's the end of the regular season, Ben, and this is what you see as this will be maybe the last game for Prep. They're trying to find another one. And Pleasant Valley has Abington Heights remaining next week at home. So other 2 minutes here to play. We have players of the game coming up. Of course, Brady Holmes closing in on that record for most goals in a career. He had 5 tonight, and he was 8 away, so he's 3 short. Right now, Ben?
Yes, he is. Yeah, he's looking at that mark. He's 3 away right there. And you saw on your screen, Cooper Cromer, senior of Bears, had a shot off the mark there. Cavaliers are going to inbound it and, really take the stretch of the field. That's
Gray Simpson bringing it up, the long pole. He gives it up to Roman Lowe. Lowe has to get in the box. He does. Lowe across the field. Good catch by Tate Finnerty, number 15 in the middle. Tried to get it by the Pleasant Valley Bears goaltender. So Ward bringing it down again. Gets it inside. If Prep can pick it up, they can throw it the length of the field if they realize that the goaltender is down. Alex Scanlon over. Final 30 seconds of this one. Prep will improve their season to 15-2 and head on into the District 2 playoffs. Pleasant Valley will wrap up their season, have one more game remaining. They'll drop to 4-15. So that should just about do it here at Keystone College. Cavaliers jumped out to an 11-1 lead. Bears tried to fight back against some of the third team for the Cavaliers, and the clock hit 0, and that will do it. So congratulations to the Cavaliers of Scranton Prep on their win over Pleasant Valley. Again, we want to thank all of our sponsors, and when we come back, Ben will talk to our players of the game. Final score, Prep 15, Pleasant Valley 4.
You're watching North American Warhorse High School Lacrosse, presented by Holly Ridge Estates on MyTV WQMY.
Real quick, guys.
That's a wrap here at Keystone College on a beautiful night. Scranton Prep wins their 15th game on the year, 15-4 the final score. Ben down on the field with our two players of the game.
All right, we are here down on the field after a 15-4 victory for the Cavaliers. I'm joined by Brady Holmes Sr. and James Stallman Jr. We're going to start with Brady. Brady, you've had an amazing season so far. You've really taken that energy and really levitated it for the Cavaliers, stepping on the seniors that graduated. What has it been like this season to be in those shoes and guide your team to now 16-2?
It's never easy to take a leadership job, but the other kids above us really, they raised me, they raised us, so honestly it was just fitting right into a family. The chemistry was already there, so it was just kind of natural.
Yeah, for sure. Tonight you had at least 5-6 goals. What are you doing to keep hunting for that goal record, and what does it mean to you to keep, going into district playoffs to have another game with your guys?
The goal record's nice and all, but the success of this team means more. My players are getting me open, and honestly, I owe it to them for all these goals. This is not me, this is them.
That's great. Congratulations on the win. We're going to start with James, end with James right here. You really had a monster first half. What does it mean? What did you see in the goal and all that to, keep it to just one goal out at half?
It's more my teammates than me. They just guarded them well. They didn't let them get shots off, and that's how it's been all season,
Certainly, you're stepping into that leading goalie starting role after Aiden Jordan departed last year, being the district champion. What has this meant to you and, to do this and, lead your team so far?
Well, it's huge shoes to fill, but it's an honor to fill them, and I've had great teammates from the offense to the defense and the coaches, even the sideline. They all support me throughout the journey, and I'm just glad to have a nice support system.
For sure. Ending a great Friday night. Turn it back to you, Bob.
Thank you, Ben, and congratulations to our players of the game. So, big win for the Cavaliers. They'll move on into the District 2 playoffs if they don't have another regular season game. And then the Pleasant Valley Bears have Abingdon Heights next week at home. So what do we have here on my TV? Well, we're back to high school football. In just about over a month or so, we'll have our crew up at Towanda. It's the District 4 All-Star Football Game. That's Friday, June 20th. We'll be on the air at 7 o'clock. That is the District 4 All-Star Football Game. It's at Towanda High School this year. Then we start our F&R schedule. We'll have the Lions Club game, Dream Game, Wednesday, July 23rd at 7 o'clock. And then our F&R regular season opens Friday, August 22nd. We will reveal our schedule during the Dream Game, July 23rd. So we want to thank all of the sponsors who made tonight's special presentation possible, and especially the Scranton Prep Parents Booster Club for supporting tonight's game and gathering all of the sponsors. Great job by our crew. We love doing lacrosse here on my TV, and hopefully in the future we can bring you a lot more. The final score again, Scranton Prep 15, Pleasant Valley 4 from Keystone College. For Ben McDonough, for the entire Fox 56 Sports crew, this is Bob Ide saying so long and have a pleasant good evening.